Welcome back, my friends. This is Menopause, your management, your way, now and for the rest of your life. And I'm Menopause Barbie, your Menopause Tailor. This is tutorial 76. In the last tutorials, we've discussed estrogen dominance and we've contrasted it with estrogen deficiency. What you learned is that estrogen dominance is a term that has created a fear of estrogen for many women. As a result, some are absolutely opposed to using estrogen replacement to compensate for estrogen loss at the time of postmenopause. And add to that the fact that the alternative and complementary community uses progesterone instead of estrogen to achieve hormonal balance, and you have a situation in which many women ask, can I take progesterone instead of estrogen for menopause? So that's the question we will address in this video. You can set aside your book and outline notes for this one. We're delving deeper into things that are addressed only superficially in the book and notes. By the way, I hope you realize that that's the beauty of these videos. You see, I could take the time to really dissect things for you in a video more than I can in any other setting. Of course, the trade-off is it takes years to get the full education when it's only one video a week, right? But you get it in little bite-sized pieces, one video a week. If you want the whole education all at once, the thing to do is attend my seminar. I give them once a quarter. That's all my arthritis can withstand. So once a quarter, get it while I can still do it. There's no better way to learn everything in just 2 days and put it all in perspective than to attend my seminar. You can find out more about it and register by going to my website, menopausetailor.me. These videos will give you everything, but you have to have a lot of time to get it. I love making the videos for you. So even if you came to a seminar, you can still enjoy the videos because these are fun. Okay, so let's start by looking at our graph that shows what happens to your estrogen and progesterone as you transition from perimenopause to postmenopause. You know the pink Play-Doh is estrogen, the multicolored Play-Doh is progesterone, and the blue is testosterone. And you can ignore testosterone for today. I'm going to use this to reveal the hormonal fluctuations over time, and I'm going to cover parts of it with this other board. So, all you see right now is your pre-menopause. This is before your transition begins, right? If I can get it up there. Okay. Premenopause, and you can see that that's when both estrogen and progesterone are high, and you see that this premenopausal phase lasts until about age 40. Oh, it's variable, you know, some women all the way to age 47, 48. But next we come to perimenopause, and look at this. Perimenopause is where you have from age 40 to about age 50. And what do you see now? Your progesterone plummets during perimenopause, but your estrogen remains high. Look at that. And you learned in the last 2 videos that this is what some people call estrogen dominance. So it's this perimenopause where you have high estrogen. And let's ask our question. Can you use progesterone instead of estrogen during perimenopause? Well, of course you can. You don't have to, but you can if you want to, because I mean, look at what's deficient. It's the progesterone. So you have high estrogen and low progesterone. So the progesterone is deficient, and if you use progesterone, it works. You still have plenty of estrogen. In fact, most of your symptoms in perimenopause are due to the estrogen excess or progesterone deficiency. So what are those symptoms? Well, let's address them. Here's the list of symptoms of estrogen excess. Increased or excessive bleeding during periods, nausea, vomiting, food cravings, breast pain or breast tenderness, weight gain, bloating, depression, persistent or recurrent vaginal yeast infections, headaches, leg cramps. And here are the symptoms of progesterone deficiency: irregular or heavy periods, premenstrual syndrome, otherwise known as PMS, anxiety, and migraine headaches. Now remember, no hormone works in a vacuum, so there are all sorts of factors that will affect your particular symptoms. But this gives you an idea of which symptoms belong to which hormone abnormality. So if you take progesterone during perimenopause, when you have symptoms of progesterone deficiency and estrogen excess, it's likely to be just what you need to alleviate some of your symptoms. It's like sticking a square peg into a square hole. It works just fine. So next we come to postmenopause. Okay, so here we have postmenopause. And what do you see? Notice now that your estrogen plummets when you reach postmenopause. So now you have deficient estrogen as well as deficient progesterone. They're both low. And now we ask the same question again. Can you use progesterone instead of estrogen once you're postmenopausal? Well, you know, you can do anything you want to do. But will taking just progesterone by itself, for a deficiency of both estrogen and progesterone, alleviate your symptoms of postmenopause? Of course, your symptoms of postmenopause are different from your symptoms of perimenopause. Your symptoms of postmenopause are due to estrogen deficiency, not progesterone deficiency. And what are the symptoms of estrogen deficiency? Less frequent or absent periods, hot flashes, night sweats, insomnia, fatigue, forgetfulness, mood swings, irritability, joint stiffness and joint pain, dry skin, hair loss, vaginal dryness, urinary tract infections, urinary incontinence, decreased sex drive. You see, it's a whole different list than the one you saw for progesterone deficiency. Now, if you've really been paying close attention to these tutorials, you'll recall that in tutorial 36, I taught you that progesterone is a chameleon. And what did I mean by that? I explained that progesterone can convert itself into estrogen and testosterone. So if you're remembering that, I applaud you. I explained that progesterone's ability to convert itself into estrogen and testosterone is the very reason that the alternative and complementary community uses it and promotes it for all your hormonal woes. But I also explained that progesterone converts into other hormones in a manner that is unpredictable, inconsistent, and highly variable. In other words, taking progesterone by itself for a deficiency in both estrogen and progesterone will not alleviate your symptoms of both estrogen deficiency and progesterone deficiency. In fact, it may make things even more confusing. So let's go back to the basics. Progesterone means in support of pregnancy. Pro means in support of. Gest means pregnancy. Own means hormone. So progesterone is the hormone that supports a pregnancy. It's not really there for you at all. It's for the baby, not for you. And you'll recall that I've taught you that the only reason any woman needs progesterone at the time of menopause is to protect her uterus from uterine cancer. It has no other benefit for you. If you don't have your uterus, you don't need progesterone. Your hormone is estrogen. It's the female hormone. Estrogen is for you what testosterone is for men. So taking progesterone instead of estrogen for post-menopause, when the problem is estrogen deficiency, is like putting a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't quite fit. Always remember that everything should make sense. I mean, it makes sense to take progesterone for progesterone deficiency during perimenopause, right? And that's entirely optional. Your body does not need progesterone, but if you're having symptoms of progesterone deficiency, it makes sense to replace the progesterone. Your baby needs progesterone, and your uterus needs progesterone if you take estrogen. And it makes sense to take estrogen for estrogen deficiency once you're postmenopausal. Every cell of your body depends on estrogen. You know, if men lost all their testosterone, do you think they would take progesterone instead of taking testosterone? I mean, progesterone can turn into testosterone. Of course not. They would take testosterone. So progesterone can turn into testosterone, but it isn't adequate for replacing testosterone. And it's not adequate for replacing estrogen either. So, the lesson is, you need to put square pegs into square holes and round pegs into round holes. Progesterone is a square peg, and progesterone deficiency is a square hole. And estrogen is a round peg, and estrogen deficiency is a round hole. If you want to succeed with your menopause management, you really have to put the right peg into the right hole. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed in meeting your goals. Makes sense, doesn't it? Always look for logic, okay? Keep it straight. That's what I try to help you with, and I hope it makes sense. That does it for today. Little by little, you're learning. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to my website, menopausetailor.me, and I'll see you again in a week. Bye.